We are the Juneau Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. And Kim, are we recording?
We are.
Fantastic. I am the Reverend Teri Schwartz, worship minister here at the fellowship. No matter your age, no matter your strengths, no matter your beliefs or lack of beliefs, no matter who you love or who you live with, congregational founders or first-time visitors, we welcome you here to this community. The mission of the Juneau Unitarian Universalist Fellowship is to be a spiritual home for all people who are engaged in a search for truth and meaning. We are so glad you're all here. Well, let's move into a space and time and prepare our hearts and minds and spirits for worship together. I offer these words on behalf of my colleague and former student, Kimberly Ann Tomczak Carlson, a place of belonging and caring. It is not by chance that you arrived here today. You have been looking for something larger than yourself. Inside of you, there is a yearning, a calling, a hope for more, a desire for a place of belonging and caring. Through your struggles, someone nurtured you into being, instilling a belief in a shared purpose, a common yet precious resource that belongs to all of us when we share. And so, you began seeking a beloved community, a people that does not put fences around love, a community that holds its arms open to the possibilities of love, a heart home to nourish your soul and share your gifts. Welcome home. Welcome home if this is your community for years or your home for this hour. Welcome to worship. In that spirit of welcome, please turn to number 548 for a responsive reading for our chalice lighting. You'll find that in the back of your silver hymnal. And I invite you, in body or spirit, as feels right to you, to stand so you can get some movement and wiggles and come into your bodies. And I will read the plain type if you reply with the italics. We stand at the edge of summer.
The sun has asked for best enough, and we begin to trust in its presence.
The last burst of spring blossoms, lavender and white, and deep pink banks of rhododendron are giving way to summer peonies and roses. Of earth, of life, of promise gradually becoming fulfillment.
May your people find the lightning of the bird beasts with the brightness of the sky.
We light our chalice today, that may it be a reminder of our joys of lightening burdens and brightening skies, especially in this northern country. And brightening skies here are a big deal if you are not all from here. Let's sing together. We will sing hymn number 77. And again, I invite you to rise in body or spirit. This is Seek Not Afar for Beauty. I'm going to play the melody line through. You can get a feel for it.
Seek not afar for beauty, roll it close into and presses all about your feet. In birds and sunshine, childish faces sweet. In stars and mountains, song is dropped with snow. For not of brother happiness befall, it is a flower blooming at your door. Bring love and laughter home and evermore. Joy shall be yours as changing years unfold. And wonder workings of some bush of flame, we look for truth that fancy is concealed. But in those common things it stands revealed. While grass and flowers, stars stand out within.
Our meditation today, Garden Prayer by the Reverend David Horst. I invite you, as it feels right to you, to really feel yourself here in this moment. The contact points, your body and the chair and the earth supporting you. Take a big, deep breath. Let it go. And be here now. Early in the morning, before the children are awake, and while the grass is still dewy, I like to walk in my garden. It's my garden only because it shares the same small plot of land my family and I inhabit. The garden does not really belong to me. I belong to it, at least for the short time I'm here. Today I'm still in my slippers and have my first cup of coffee in hand. Much of what grows had been planted 2 or 3 homeowners ago. Some I've planted since our arrival. But if they belong to anyone or anything, the plants and flowering trees I come to see and smell, viburnum, dogwood, magnolia, and crabapple, belong to the sun and rain and soil. These living things are a beauty not of my making, though surely made of my desire. At the moment, the rose bushes are in full burst of red and perfume. The hydrangeas are sure to open their moppy heads as soon as the sun falls upon them. The weedy-looking globe thistles are turning lovely, blue and spiky. The foxglove, however, rules the garden. Its central stalk is 5 feet high and heavy with pink scoop-shaped blossoms with charming freckles inside. I am awed by the abundance. I'd intended to walk the garden simply to observe and wonder. But there's a weed that must be pulled, a stray stem that needs to be pruned, a blossom drooping and fading that should be snipped. So I set down my coffee cup on the back porch, grab a small pail, and go to work. I end up with muddy hands and slippers, and a pail full of weeds and trimmings. Why can't I simply observe and wonder? Won't the beauty of my small garden world, wouldn't that world survive without me? I step back to the porch to retrieve my coffee, now cold, stamp the dew off my slippers, and take one look back at the garden before I return into the house. The garden is no more beautiful now than when I first arrived. My weed pulling, pruning, and snipping haven't really improved the garden nor made that much of a difference as far as I know. It's like prayer. The words I speak don't really change anything, but I know they change me. Every week when we gather, we set aside time to bring to mind our joys and our sorrows. It is a time, perhaps the only time in the week, a stillness where we can observe and wonder what's growing in our own hearts and what is growing in the hearts of those in our midst and the world. It is also the time in which we are changed by sharing our concern and care. It is not easy being human in this world, and especially not in Southeast Alaska. Our joys are multiplied when shared, and our sorrows are lessened. We need not go it alone. Let's be together in silence for 3 breaths. I'll add one last stone for all of those joys and concerns that remain in the silence of our hearts, for people near and far, looking for safety, for comfort, for the ability to flourish, for the resources that are our very human rights, to live in peace among one another. I invite you to stay seated for this next hymn. Not in that hymn, though. But I want you to be in your bodies and your hearts. And so I'm going to invite you to think of one joy or concern, one person that you heard share this morning. And as you sing, hold that person in your heart, knowing that someone else in our shared worship is holding you in theirs. Join in as you feel moved and ready. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me for my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Cry with me, cry with me, cry with me, oh my soul. Cry with me, cry with me, cry with me, oh my soul. Laugh with me, laugh with last time. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. His mother, a devout Catholic, his father, agnostic. He became an acolyte at age 10 in 1890, St. Martin's Catholic Church. In the years that followed, he became disillusioned. His priest was a cynic. At 18 in Vienna, apprenticed to his uncle, a successful tailor, Norbert discovered the Baptists and became a minister. He founded almost a dozen churches from Ukraine to Budapest. Yet slowly his faith became more and more liberal. He left Bohemia under government threat and accepted a call to serve a Baptist church in New York City. That was until one day in 1919. That day, he wrote in his diary, "I cannot be a Baptist anymore, even in compromise. The fire of new desires, new worlds is burning inside of me." Norbert and his wife, Maya Čapek, joined a Unitarian Church in New Jersey in 1921 for the same reasons some of you did. Their children liked the religious education program. That is the power of religious education. World War I ended, his home country now independent. He and Maya returned home to Czechoslovakia. His Unitarian Church was the Prague Liberal Religious Fellowship. And in just 20 years, his church had 3,200 members. That is a hell of a church plant, y'all. That is what a charismatic minister. It also pointed to a need. Remember that. The traditional Christian communion service of bread and wine wouldn't meet the needs of his congregation because his church, like ours, had people who believed different things. This was radical in 1921, y'all. So Čapek turned to the beauty of the countryside, to the beauty of flowers. And in 1923, he developed the flower ceremony. And he asked his congregants, as I have asked you, to bring a flower to church from their gardens, from the field or the roadside or the grocery store. And he asked each person to place their flower in a vase. And there you could see growing in front of you the church community, no less unique for being united. Following the service, each person could take a flower from the vase, a different one than they had brought. Čapek was a visionary minister with a church ahead of its time, a bold church that was thinking beyond its doors and beyond what it thought possible and beyond what most people thought was possible for a congregation. And they were willing to take risks, to make tough decisions, and to bear disappointment. And we can rest assured they also had annual meetings and needed to fill a board slate. But at the heart, they were building a church so that it was a church that could build up the world. And for this, the Gestapo arrested him in 1942. The Nazis accused Čapek of listening to foreign broadcasts. That was a capital offense. They sent him to Dachau concentration camp to Priesterblok. Even in starvation and torture, he held a flower ceremony with his fellow prisoners, finding whatever flowers they could among the weeds of the camp. And as they would join them together one by one, they testified to a beauty larger than themselves and a love that would outlive them, even in the midst of the worst. The Nazis killed Norbert Čapek, but his spirit, his courage and commitment lives on today, and it is passed now to us to make real. His wife, Maya, brought the flower ceremony to the Unitarian Church in Cambridge, Massachusetts in 1940. And this beloved ritual has reached Unitarians throughout the country and throughout the world. It is what we celebrate today. The flower ceremony, lovely though it is not a diversion or a distraction from ugly reality, nor is it a new ritual created for only comfort and easy grace. Rather, it is a gentle fierceness and invitation to remember that the task of putting ourselves in the path of joy and finding beauty, that is work. And that is work to do when we are in the midst of the biggest challenges and trials of our lives. If we're willing to search among the weeds, we can bring the best of what we find together. So today we celebrate this ritual of solemnity and joy. And as Čapek asked his people to bring a flower and celebrate that diversity and beauty, I now ask that of you. As you feel so moved, please come forward and place your flower in our shared vase. Rising friends. I bless these flowers with Čapek's own words of consecration. This is just wildly liberal for 100 years ago, which is our call as well to be even bolder and broader than we may think we can. Infinite Spirit of life, may these flowers of fellowship and love be blessed. May they remind us, amid diversities of knowledge and of gifts, to be one in desire and affection and devotion to all that is good. May they also remind us of the value of community, of doing and sharing alike. May we cherish friendship as one of our most important gifts. May we not let awareness of another's talents discourage us or sully our relationship. But may we realize that whatever we can do, great or small, the efforts of all of us are needed to heal the world. These closing words, a good word, a benediction for you from the Reverend Elizabeth Strong. The blooming season is short. The flowers stay only a brief time. We are travelers upon the earth, travelers through all too brief lifetimes. It has taken each of us long times of growth through sorrow and joy to prepare for our living now. Let's celebrate together in love as we travel away, whether a mile away or 3,900 miles away. We take with us the memory of golden hours together among the flowers. Go forth in peace and be a blessing. After we sing our closing song, you can each take a flower different than you brought, and then I have a little tiny gift for each of you, and I'll send it to each of you on Zoom. So let's join together and sing From You I Receive, to You I Give. And I'll invite you both for respect for those who have immunocompromised folks at home or for themselves, an evidence-based practice of putting your hands here, if that feels right to you, provide comfort and reassurance to ourselves and one another. From you I receive, to you